Keys! Now! Come on! Open it! Stay there!
Joe, can you move your bike? I can't get in.
Sorry, I was just about to leave.
Come on, I haven't got time for this.
I'm sorry. Look, let me make it up to you
Oh, yeah?
by taking you to dinner tonight.
Oh, I don't know. Sounds more like bribery to me.
It is. What do you say?
OK, you're on.
Control to Delta Alpha 2-4.
Receiving. Go ahead, Jeff.
You need it here, Joe.
You all know D.I. Turner from Serious Crime Squad. He's in charge of this case.
Morning. They're a vicious team. They seriously assaulted the postmaster. The pattern's emerging. They hit village post offices, soft targets. First Carnley, last week Oakthorpe, and now Shenley. Seems there are 3 of them in the gang. There's 2 for the raid, plus a getaway driver.
They carry guns. They don't mind using violence.
The postmaster's now in intensive care. It doesn't look good.
You didn't need to hit him so hard. I mean, you didn't need to hit him at all.
Oi! You don't tell me what to do. I'll run this. You got it?
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry, Steve. I'm sorry.
Well, one of my team is off sick. I need a uniformed officer seconded to CID. Could be dangerous work.
P.C. Mason has had some experience with CID. He can assist you on this for the moment.
Sergeant.
It's vital we catch this gang. Uniform are to help by patrolling post officers as often as possible.
Hey, I don't know what the world's coming to. It's shocking the amount of violence used on this poor postmaster.
They should never have abolished hanging.
No.
How's your Cynthia? I haven't seen her around and about lately.
Oh, sadly, she's in a nursing home just now. Her health isn't so good, you see.
I'm sorry to hear that. She's done a lot for the community, has Cynthia.
How are you managing on your own then, Mr. Walton?
Oh, I get by. But I'm afraid domestic tasks are never been exactly my thing. Left all that to Cynthia, you see.
Well, could you do with a bit of help? I mean, I'd be more than happy to pop round and do a bit of cleaning for you.
Well, that's most kind of you, Mrs. Armstrong, but I couldn't impose.
Don't be daft. When you were the bank manager, now, you never lent me any money, but you was always polite. A proper gent to me, you were.
That's because I like you. Oh, I know your eccentric ways upset some folks. But you've got a good heart.
Thanks. That means a lot to me, Mr. Walton. Well, that's settled then. I'll call round and I'll give you a hand.
Oh, thanks, Bernie.
She'll be after something, you mark my words.
Well, nothing that's very fair, Mr. Blake. I mean, she's offered to help, but she's not being paid for it.
Peggy Armstrong do something for nothing? Don't make me laugh.
She has always got on well with Walton.
Well, she might be planning to get on with him even better. Should something happen to his wife, if you get my drift. He's got quite a few bobbers, old Edward.
I think you're being a bit harsh there, Oscar.
Well, like I say, you mark my words.
This really is most kind of you, Mrs. Armstrong.
Well, if old friends can't help each other, I don't know what the world's coming to.
I'm afraid there's a lot to do.
Oh, something that a bit of elbow grease can't shift.
Now, are you sure I can't pay you something for your trouble?
Don't be daft. Thank you. I wouldn't take a penny.
robberies are causing a stir, but none of the local criminals seem to know who's behind them.
Nothing more from your snout?
One possible name to check out. A Londoner moved up here as a second-hand car business, Steve Dempsey.
Never heard of him.
Wally thinks he may have formed down south. Seems to have become associated with the local villains.
Worth checking out then, Sarge. Look, can I talk to you as a friend for a moment? Is there something bothering you? You seem a bit...
I'm fine.
I'm afraid Cynthia's illness makes it unlikely that she'll ever be well enough to leave the nursing home.
Oh, that is a shame. Lovely lady, your wife. Never mind. I'm more than happy to come along and help with the housework.
You're a kind soul, Mrs. Armstrong.
Peggy, please. Hey, these carpets look as if they could do with a good clean and all.
I've rather neglected things, haven't I? But you've done more than enough for one day, Peggy.
Nonsense. Where do you keep your carpet sweeper? In that cupboard in the hall, I reckon.
I'm sorry. That cupboard hasn't been cleaned out for years.
It's a funny old collection of stuff you got here, Mr. Walton.
Well, don't worry about it. I'll sort it out. You better go now.
Hey, it's a good quality pen, is this?
Why don't you have it? For all your hard work. A gift. You've done more than enough for one day, Peggy. And I usually have a little nap this time of day.
Oh, all right then. I'll be off. And thanks for the pen.
I've phoned all the post offices, sir, and warned them.
Warning them's one thing. Giving them adequate protection's another. Any news from your snout?
Yeah, well, one possible name to check out.
Your office all right, Sergeant?
I suppose you've been lounging about in a CID car all day. CID works harder than you think.
Well, anytime you want to swap, you know. I'd much rather work alongside an attractive woman like D.S. Dawson than be stuck here with Miller all day.
Me too. You want to make the most of it, though? She's leaving us, I gather.
Sorry?
D.S. Dawson's leaving? A friend of mine works at HQ. Doesn't know the details, but she's being transferred out of the division.
It's an enforced move. Someone's been a naughty girl, it seems.
Enforced move? Why? He doesn't know, but she's being put back in uniform. It'll be quite humiliating for her.
Do you know, David, that were a rum assortment of stuff in his broom cupboard.
I see all the clobber we've got in ours.
We haven't got a garden gnome and a large pair of ladies' knickers, though, have we?
I don't know. Well, go and have a look if you want.
Oh, come back here, you daft apeth. There were a dozen purses and enough cutlery for a small banquet.
You know what, Peggy, I'd be careful taking any more gifts off him, though.
Why?
Well, it's just that Oscar Blake's, and he reckons the only reason that you offered to help is because you're after something.
Well, that's because Oscar Blaketon hasn't got any charity in his soul whatsoever.
Could be right.
Are you going to join us for a pint, Joe?
I'd better hang on for a bit. I might still be needed. Ah, the tough side of CID work, eh? Can't clock off till the governor says so.
Stephen Dempsey. He has form. CRO confirmed he has convictions for armed robbery.
He moved up here 6 months ago, opened up a second-hand car business. We've managed to find a home address for him.
There's nothing yet to link him to our robberies, but he's worth checking out. So, Mason, go with D.S. Dawson, have a discreet look at where he lives.
This evening, sir?
Yeah, we must follow up any lead as a matter of urgency. I don't want any more innocent people getting hurt.
Yeah, of course. Do you mind if I just make a call?
Well, if you're quick, yeah.
Sorry, sir. Won't be a tick. Hi, Gina, it's Joe. Look, I'm trying to get a hold of Carol. Could you do me a favour and apologise to her for me? Tell her I'm having to work and I can't make it tonight. Thanks. Bye.
Here we go.
No Dawn this evening?
No, I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's a night off. She's gone over to see a girlfriend in Ashfordley.
Ah, that's a shame, Jeff. You just come from there yourself, especially to see her in here.
I have not. I came for a pint.
Wow, I'm sure you're not got dressed up like that just to come and see me.
Don't know where Joe is, do you?
Still in the station when we left.
Oh, supposed to be taking me out to dinner.
Carol, he couldn't get hold of you, love. He left a message to say sorry he's going to have to work late.
Oh, wonderful.
He's temporarily attached to CID, you see. He's been out with DS Dawson all day. He said he might be needed tonight and all.
I think I'd better just have a drink then.
Saw two silhouettes through the window, both male.
Worth hanging on for a bit then.
There's a rumour going around that you're leaving.
So the gossip started, is it? Yeah, I'm being transferred.
Do you mind if I ask why?
I'd rather not discuss it. Let's concentrate on the job in hand.
Hang on. Someone's just left the house. Is that Dempsey?
Not sure. Oh, hang on, no, I know him. He's local. Tony Ancastle. I nicked him last year. If he spots us, our cover's blown. Come here.
And David, I mean, why were there so many purses? And them knickers are far too big for a woman like Cynthia Walton.
Hang on. What are you doing with that?
I've paid for it. Tell him, David.
Not your drink, my pen.
Hey, that's mine, is that?
No, it's not. It's my fountain pen. It disappeared a few months back. It was a retirement gift from the Force. Look, my initials, OB.
Oh, yeah, I never noticed them.
So where did you get it? You nicked it, didn't you?
I did not.
So where'd you get it from, then?
I found it.
Found it? Where?
I can't remember.
Rubbish. You must have picked it up from this bar when my back was turned.
I did not.
She didn't steal it. Tell him, Aunt Peg. It was with that garden gnome on those ladies' knickers.
Come on, Aunt. Go on. What have I done?
God knows. Ladies' knickers.
We just saw someone leave Dempsey's house. Yeah, I recognised him. Tony Ancastle. Right. Well, good night then. Yeah, and you. I've put D.I. Turner in the picture.
There's nothing that links either man to the post office raids, though.
Well, he suggests we call it a day for now. I'll drop you back.
I mean, I realise emergencies crop up and plans change, but surely you could have let me know earlier.
Well, you get used to it with coppers, love. I used to have it with my Phil. Visits to the pictures cancelled, meals I cook for him never eaten. Anyway, are you and Joe sort of, you know...
What, going out again? Who knows?
Hey, you will never guess what.
What?
Right in front of the bus queue, snogging away like good uns.
Well, come on, we're all ears.
Well, they were just sat parked in her car, kissing, cuddling, the lot.
Sorry, Dawn, who was kissing and cuddling in front of the bus queue?
Only our local Bobby, Joe Mason. Yeah, he was getting all steamy with that woman sergeant, what's she called, that Rachel thingy. Was juicy gossip in her.
Night, Gina.
Oh, nice. Well done, Dawn. That certainly put the cherry on top of her evening.
Now what?
See you tomorrow.
It's a bit close to village coppers' house, isn't it?
Exactly. They won't think we'd dare try it. Keep them guessing. We do Lower Bexford next, and then this. Let's go.
You should have seen her face last night, Oscar. Poor Carol. She'd been stood up by Joe and was quietly drowning her sorrows when this one opens a big gob and says she saw Joe kissing Rachel Dawson.
Look, I had no idea he was supposed to be taking her out. I wouldn't have set out if I'd have known.
Joe Mason and D.S. Dawson, are you sure?
Yes! They were at it in her car by the bus stop in Ashfordley.
What's the police force coming to? In my day, constables didn't go round kissing their sergeants.
Well, if you were the sergeant, Oscar, I'm hardly surprised.
Look, you can't blame it. I didn't know that Joe and Carol had got back together.
Well, I doubt they will be now.
No one tells me anything round here anyway.
All I can say is I wouldn't like to be in his shoes when she gets hold of him.
Ah, did you get my message last night?
Yeah, I got the message, all right.
I'm sorry I had to work late. I understand you're disappointed. I was looking forward to it too.
Really?
Of course I was.
Never mind, I'm sure your work has its compensations.
I'm sorry?
Look, just don't bother to ask me out again, OK, Joe?
Hang on. It wasn't my fault. I had to go out on surveillance.
Is that what you and your girlfriend are calling it?
What are you talking about?
Bye, Joe.
No, what are you talking about? Girlfriend?
Don't come the innocent with me. I'm talking about Rachel Dawson, of course.
She's not my girlfriend.
You had an affair.
You know that's all in the past.
Then why were you seen kissing and cuddling in her car last night?
We were out on surveillance. Oh, hang on.
Dawn said you were all over each other.
Look, it may have looked like that, but it wasn't. You don't understand, Carol.
No, I think I do.
I thought I'd start today by giving your carpets a good sweep.
I've cleared out that cupboard. I got rid of all that junk.
That fountain pen you gave me, you know, the one that fell out with all the other stuff. Oscar Blaketon said it was his. And it had his initials on it, O.B. Where did you get it, Mr. Walton?
I've no idea. I can't remember. Perhaps it wasn't his. I mean, one pen is very much like another. Don't you think?
Oh, he's finally made it. See, Jeff, these CID blokes turn up whenever they like.
Unlike you, Per, I worked late last night.
Hey, we've got some more info about Sergeant Dawson. Seems HQ have found out that she's had an affair with another officer.
Someone of another rank. They don't approve of that. So, she's been put back in uniform, sent elsewhere.
How do HQ know about this affair?
An anonymous phone call. D.S. Dawson was named, but not the other officer.
She hasn't denied having a bit of "how's your father," but she's refused to name the copper she slept with. Taking the full rap herself. Game girl, eh?
Morning, Mason. I'll need you again today.
Will I be with Sergeant Dawson, sir?
No, she's checking out Dempsey's second-hand car lot. You'll be working with me.
Well, you go. Check it out again. And just keep an eye out for the old bill. OK. Yeah, I gotta go. I've got a punter to deal with. Morning.
Oh, morning.
It's a lovely motor, immaculate condition. Would you be interested in a test drive?
Yes, please.
Jump in.
A blue's gonna be my only way. I got a feeling a blue's gonna be my only way. So when you're looking for somebody, looking for somebody.
The spare bedroom. Never used.
Right. I see. Thanks.
Tell me, woman, how do you see a man like me? Tell me, woman, how do you see a man like me? You look so nice. You feel so warm.
It's not a rattle, love. That's the noise the engine makes at low revs.
Postmaster's still critical, so we can't get any further help with descriptions of the gang.
I've just had a call from the sub-postmaster in Lower Bexford, sir. He was woken in the night by a car cruising up and down the street outside the post office. It's back again this morning, parked across the street.
Let's go.
You're playing hide and seek with me, and everybody else can see. Just when I want you near, you run away and leave me lovelessly here in a corner. You're playing hide and seek too much, and if you wanna keep in touch, well then I've gotta hear your voice call out. You're not the closest, but you're getting warmer. And if I find you this time, I'm gonna keep you this time, and never no more waste time counting up to 99.
I'm afraid it's all stolen. Over the last few months, I've developed this urge to pick things up and bring them back here. Harmless, really. Apart from these, I suppose. I took them from people's shopping baskets, and when they left them on shop counters and so on. When you opened that cupboard, I suddenly realized what I'd done. Most of the purses have labels. I mean to return them.
And have you taken any of the cash out of them?
Oh, no. I didn't take them for the money. I took them for the sake of it. An irrational impulse.
I reckon this could have been brought about by the stress of your wife's illness.
And, what will you do now, Peggy? Will you tell the police?
Oh, no. Oh, no, the police and me have never had a very good relationship. But I take it that you wanting to return all these to the rightful owners?
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. Everything.
Good. Well, I'll help you do that. And if we go about it in the right way, there is no need for the police to become involved at all.
They went that way just a few minutes ago.
Did you get the number?
Yes, I did. There you are.
Yes, that's the police, sir. There's 2 men on board. Think they know we're onto them? Can't be sure, sir.
What? It's not their fault, sir. It's just bad luck.
Yeah, I know. My eldest lad's a member of a cycle club. It's just... Come on, get out of the way, will ya? We've lost them. We're going to nail these men, Mason. We have to.
Something's been niggling me. You know that banter with Peggy in the pub about the knickers and the garden gnome?
Why?
Well, a few months back, a woman came in. Someone had taken underwear from her washing line, pinched her prize gnome, and a purse from her kitchen table. Yeah, here it is.
Whenever you need a quiet word, it's always to do with putting your drinks on the slate.
Mr. Walton needs help.
So you keep saying. What are you charging him for this help?
If you mean the cleaning, I'm not taking a penny.
Oh, come on. Pull the other one.
I've told him I don't need paying. I'm doing it because I like him.
Oh, you like his bank balance, more like.
Don't be so suspicious.
Worming away in there with his wife still in hospital. You won't get away with this. Mr. Walton is a friend of mine.
Well, then start acting like a friend. Pin your ears back and listen to what I'm actually saying to you. He needs our help. I think he's been taking things that don't belong to him.
I need a word with you.
Me, Miss Weatherby. What about?
A couple of items Peggy Armstrong mentioned in the pub last night.
What items?
I think you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't, actually. I mean, the only items Aunt Peggy's ever bothered about in a pub are a glass of stout and a packet of pork scratchings.
Knickers and gnomes.
What?
Knickers and gnomes, David. Knickers and gnomes.
Well, if this gets out, his reputation will be ruined.
Most of the stuff is stolen. It isn't harming anybody. I mean, it's knick-knacks, pens, pencils, stuff like that. But the purses are full of money. Look, I've made a list. Most of the owners are local, so I thought we could just push them back through the letterboxes. Or tell the odd white lie and say we found them in the street.
Yeah, well, you have to be careful. All these purses are stolen property.
But it's only theft if you don't mean to give it back, isn't it?
We'll get the number plate checked. I'll arrange for armed officers to be present at Lower Bexford Post Office tonight.
I have a message for you, sir. Your DC off sick has reported back in. Can Constable Mason be released to his duties?
Yes. Thanks, Constable.
You're taking the rap for both of us, and I can't let you do that.
Sorry?
Sergeant Dawson.
Look, Joe, just leave it. Please.
Fill me in on this garage.
On a scrap of paper in his desk drawer.
Letters from car registrations?
Or an anagram, possibly?
Let's think about it on our way to Lower Bexford.
Some bad news, I'm afraid, sir. The hospital have just phoned in. The postmaster from Shenley's died of his injuries.
Right. This is now a murder investigation. Let's make damn sure we get these scum.
It's murder. You realise that? You can forget tonight's job.
No. We do one more hit, then we call it a day. And you back out now, they'll have more than one murder to deal with. You understand?
Oscar Blaketon's not my favourite person, but he thinks the world of you.
And he's agreed to help you return the purses to their rightful owners.
He has. I've got them all here. So you see, you've nothing to worry about now, have you? Cheerio.
Everybody's gonna say that everything is all right.
Look, Carol, there's nothing going on between me and Rachel. I promise you.
Oh, I just got hold of the wrong end of the stick, did I?
Our cover was about to be blown. It was all for show.
Oh. I see. I'm sorry. Are you all right?
Rachel's about to be transferred because of the affair that she had with me. The force don't approve of relationships like that.
Well, if you break the rules, you've got to be prepared to take the consequences.
There was an anonymous tip-off. She was named, but not me. I can't think of who else knew about it.
I did. Is that what you're getting at?
No. No, of course not.
Yes, you are. If I'm the only other person that knew about it, obviously you think it was me that made the call. How dare you, Joe? What kind of a person do you think I am?
Mrs. Armstrong, I'm investigating the theft of some ladies' underwear and a garden gnome.
What's that got to do with me?
What's in your bag, Mrs. Armstrong? Looks like a load of purses.
Yeah, well, I collect them. You know, like some folk collect dead butterflies and what have you. Well, I collect purses.
Other people's, by the looks of things.
No, that one, I found that in the street, actually. I was just about to return it.
And I suppose you found these in the street as well, did you? Hmm? And these? And these?
Oh. All right. I stole them.
I think you better come with me.
I want 2 armed officers inside. The others in the unmarked van. Right, sir. Cheers.
These letters, sir. The first post office robbery was at Carnley, right?
Yeah.
C could be Carnley. O, Oakthorpe, the next one they hit. S, Shenley, the third.
Hell's the next one? Here, Lower Bexford. Well done, Sergeant. We're in the right place then.
Well, unless you were spotted earlier and they decided to move on to the next letter.
There's only 3 places start with an A on dispatch, as I know. It's Ashfordley, Aidensfield or Armthorpe.
Well, Ashfordley's got a large main post office. Armthorpe hasn't got one at all, which leaves Aidensfield.
No, L's the next on the list. We know they've checked this one out. We stay here.
Can I at least alert PC Mason?
Why not? Have a word with the postmaster down there as well, yeah?
So what's bothering you, Constable?
I'm not sure if you're aware that DS Dawson's to be transferred out of division, Sergeant.
Yes, I am, actually.
Do you know the reasons why?
Yes, but they're confidential.
It's because she had an affair with another officer, isn't it?
As I understand it, yes.
She's chosen not to name the officer and is taking the full responsibility for it herself.
That's what I've been told.
Well, I don't see why she should pay the penalty alone. I'm the officer that she had the relationship with.
I suggest you return to your duties for now.
Sergeant.
Ah, Sergeant Miller. Are you holding Peggy Armstrong in here?
She's being questioned, yes.
What for?
I can tell you she's made an admission of theft.
Has she indeed? Right. Thank you, Sergeant.
I'm Detective Sergeant Dawson. I don't want to alarm you, but your post office may be the target for an armed gang.
You're a bit late, darling. We're already here. Case.
get the safe open.
Please, I have a family.
Keys!
End this now. We know who you are. Tony Ancastle, Steve Dempsey.
Oh, we're finished! No, they are. She just asked for a bullet for both of them. You shouldn't have opened your big mouth, darling.
You might get off with manslaughter at Shenley, but shoot us and they'll throw away the key.
We've had it, Steve! Calm down. All right, tie them up. We'll be out of the country before they're found. Alive if they behave, and dead if they don't! You, open the safe! Go on! Any messing, she's dead. Come on! Hold it. Inside. Over there. It's all right. Just a village plot.
Backup's on its way.
Now, open the safe. Now!
Do as he says, Mr. Stevens.
I'm trying. Well, try harder!
Oh, Lord. I must go and tell the police that I'm the thief. I'll get her freed.
Look, Edward, there's no point in telling the police any more lies.
Sorry, what do you mean?
This list you gave Peggy Armstrong, I've been going through it. Most of the people on here are better known to your wife than to you, aren't they?
Possibly.
They're either involved with her charity work or they're parish councillors, like her and like me. You didn't take my pen, did you? Cynthia must have done that at a council meeting, and she's the one who's been nicking all this stuff, isn't she?
All right. Yes. It was a compulsion brought on by her illness. And I won't see her reputation tarnished. The only answer now is for me to take the blame.
You could go to prison.
My wife is lying in a nursing home, gravely ill. Her good name is all she has left now. I won't see her lose that as well. Please, Oscar, would you leave this to me?
Get up. This copper looks in a right bad way. Tough.
Please, I've done one here.
Street's full of coppers, it's over! No. We've got hostages. Police hostages, they'll have to do a deal.
This is the police. Drop your weapons. Come out with your hands raised.
It's stupid to go on. I should never have brought you in. You've got no bottle.
Yeah, well, you've got no sense. You murdered that postmaster, not me. I'm going.
You carry on and you're dead. Get over there.
With your hands
Go on.
Mrs. Armstrong is trying to protect me, Constable. I'm the guilty party. I want to make a full confession.
2 confessions for the same crime. Brilliant.
You've got to bear in mind her present state of health.
What are you doing here? Oh, Oscar, you didn't tell him, did you?
I had to for your sake. Now, come on, Sergeant. His wife is very ill.
Not now, Oscar. A major incident has been reported. I have to deal with it.
You'll be fine, Rachel. The ambulance is here now. We've got one officer with a head wound, another with a gunshot wound to the arm. We'll need a stretcher. I'll call the head to Ashford General. Hang in there, OK, Rachel?
What you did was really brave. Dempsey wasn't going to give up without a fight.
You did pretty well yourself. Wasn't going to get far with my hands tied.
I've admitted that I was the one that you had the affair with. I don't see why you should take all the blame.
Joe, I told you not to. It's not about us.
What?
It was after that. I fell for someone, Joe. Senior officer. He's a decent, hard-working copper. But he's a married man with children. That's why I haven't named him.
Oh, I see.
We'll soon have you in hospital, love. You did really well.
Thank you.
Senior officer.
You better come with us too, Joe.
I feel fine.
You need to get that head wound seen to.
I gather that you're the one that saved the day.
I followed you to apologise. Saw him pull a gun. Thought I'd better call 999.
We traced the items and returned everything of value. We see no reason to pursue this any further.
And no mention of my wife's name. Thank you.
The people you really want to thank are Peggy Armstrong and Oscar Blaketon.
It's fine now. We just had a...
Cheers, Oscar. And thanks again, mate.
Mate, I am not your mate. And don't go on about it, making a fuss. People will think I've gone soft.
Well, we did tell you she wanted to help Mr. Walton, didn't we, Mr. Scripps?
Aye, and she did that all right. You've got to admit it, Oscar.
Well, I did my bit for him, too.
Yeah, but we don't want to make a fuss about it, do we?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good luck, Sarge. We'll miss you.
Gin and tonic, please.
That little chat we had the other day, as far as I'm concerned, it was a private conversation, the content of which I've entirely forgotten.
Thank you, Sergeant. I'm gonna miss you. Why didn't you tell me what was going on?
I've always tried to keep my private life separate from my job. I never thought you'd go to Miller. I was going to tell you once everything was sorted out. I'm sorry.
I can't believe after all the good work you've done that they're transferring you.
Well, maybe it's for the best. You know, at least they let me stay in CID. I'm not going back on the beat.
Take care of yourself, yeah?
I'm glad you realise now it wasn't me that made that call.
I never thought it was. As I recall, I still owe you a meal.
That's what I admire about you, Joe. Your amazing powers of memory.
I also remember that if you hadn't contacted the police when you did then, you wouldn't have saved my life.
So I think that's worth at least a decent bottle of wine, a dessert, and a coffee on top, I'd say.
I was thinking we might have the coffee back at your place.
We'll see about that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Can you believe that, Joe Mason? 1 minute he's sat snogging Rachel Dawson in her car, and he just kissed her on the cheek in here because I saw it. Now he's walked over Boulder's brass canoodling with Carol.
Well, he's a very tasty fella, Dawn. I wouldn't mind joining the queue myself. I'm only kidding, yeah. Hey! I am only kidding.
Who's that, then?
My daughter, Josie. Say hello to Peggy.
Hello.
This is my house. I built it. I live here.
How would you feel if you were excluded from your home? A house built with your own hands?
Pardon me, perhaps I should have knocked.